Hello everybody, welcome. How are you today? I'm glad you can join me. I don't have any cards to share that I've done a whole suite with that I normally do, but today I'm going to do something a little different. We are going to learn a new technique, but for this technique, this is only like the third time I'm doing it with you guys. I've only done it 2 other times. The jury's still out on it. I'm not sure how I really feel about it. I'm not sure if I have to get the right die cuts. I'm not sure if I have the right color patterns, but I'm going to introduce it to you and then you guys let me know what you think. Okay? But first things first, I do want to show you a new suite that I'll be working with next month. I will be doing a class on it more than likely, but it is the beautiful butterfly brilliant set by Stampin' Up. As y'all know, I am an independent contractor for them, demonstrator, and I love all of their stuff. I would say probably 80% of all my craft supplies, 70 to 80 is all their product because I stand by it. I think it's awesome. I think it's beautiful. But let me show you how awesome this butterfly set is. Through the years, they have always done some kind of butterfly item. It's been small, like they had a little punch, they've had papers. It's been very, very pretty. But this set, they've outdone themselves. And let me show you what I mean by that. First of all, here is the stamp set. And this is the first time I've seen it where it's all like connected. Now, you own this. I think eventually, I am going to cut these. So I have all the individual ones. I have 6 individual because they left you room to do that, or you can leave it like this. And there's some papers that support this that you can like create your own background sheets and stuff. So there are things you can do with it being as a whole. Now, here's the other thing I thought was interesting is the die cuts. So let's talk about the die cuts real quick. They've got a couple of sets here, which I was pretty impressed with. So this die cut actually fits within the stamp set. So if you stamp something, you can go ahead and run it through the die cut machine, and you'll have them immediately. So it saves on time, especially if you're doing a lot of projects that usually take up a lot of different butterflies, a lot of different pieces. But so there was that, and I was pretty impressed with that. But let me show you the papers. And I've already kind of been playing with this. Let me see. Let me bring out one of the sheets that complements this particular die set. Where is it at? It's right here, actually. Let me show you this. So take a look at this. And this is a whole, these are 6x6s. I'm not sure how many sheets of papers in here. I think there might be 48. Yep, 48 pieces are in here. And they are beautiful, guys. Look at how gorgeous these are. They are beautiful. And the color schemes are part of their new in color, which is actually the color scheme matches this background paper that I have here. Every 2 years, Stampin' Up, well, not every 2 years, every year they roll out a set of color schemes from their, like we have the neutrals, the brights, the regals, the subtles, and they go ahead and roll out complementary colors that complement those collections. And this one is good for another year, and this one has several of the colors. And unfortunately, I really don't know all the names. Look how pretty. This is, one of them is Magenta Madness, another one is Misty Moonlight. And that's what this color blue is on the sheet right here. This is Jade something, Julie Jade. I'm not sure. I should really know this. It is actually just Jade, Magenta Madness, and I believe this is Bumblebee. Anyway, so they've got some beautiful, and cider, cinnamon cider. This is actually a very beautiful suite, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot of creativity, a lot of creating items with this one, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But what I was saying, and the reason why I pulled this out, I get sidetracked, that's how I am. So you take this paper and then you put it on here, and see how that fits on there beautifully. And I've decided that today I'm going to show you guys, we're going to use the die cutting machine, okay? I know that this is a very up close one. When I go to do more videos, I'm going to be standing up. So it's in, I'll have this camera up more, but for tonight, or for today, we're just going to go ahead and do it this way. So I'm fitting this in here. I'm going to go ahead and line this up. See how all this is lining up right here? I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to go ahead and put down a little bit of Post-it tape. It doesn't tear it, and it just helps keep it in place as you run it through. And let me show you how beautiful this turns out. It's pretty awesome, actually. This is a new embossing machine. Let me do this a little better. This is a new embossing machine that Stampin' Up! Went ahead and came up with their own. And I was a little hesitant about using it and getting one. Well, not getting one. I knew I was eventually going to get one. But and I'm sorry the tables. I'm sorry guys, the camera's moving. But I just wanted to show you the machine. And I am actually quite impressed with it. I really do take pride in what crafting machines I use and what I use in my business. And I've had one die cutting machine I've had for like 10 years, and I stand by it. I really do. They are experiencing a little bit of problems, and so Stampin' Up! Felt like they had to go ahead and come in with their own machine, and Stampin' Up! Did well. They did a really nice job. I'm actually very pleased with it. Okay, but look at how pretty all these butterflies are. Look how these all turned out. And this is just using the papers, let alone when we go to stamp. And then the next part that I wanted to show you about these die cuts, and where is here? Okay. I wanted to show you guys one more. Oh, here we are. Okay, so check this out. Right here are other intricate die cuts, and these will actually go on top of this. If you wanted to add a little bit of depth to them. I've seen people do these in black, and so they'll lay the black. It's very intricate cut, and the black, all these colors show up through on the black, and it's very, very pretty. So there's just endless creativity in what you can come up with for this suite. So my goal will be playing with this a lot for the month of March, and doing some creating on it and offering packets. And that's what I have next coming up. So I wanted to share that with you. And I also wanted to share one of the techniques, a technique we're going to be doing today. Like I said, I was a little hesitant about showing it. I like to kind of perfect it a little bit before I do it. But I'm going to go ahead and get these out of the way. But I want to go ahead and show it to you. Okay, so I created these right here. This is the butterfly paper that we just cut out of right here. These are the different butterflies. And I wanted to show you this is called a floating frame. Okay, and let me show you what I mean by the floating frame. And let me tell you, I want to show you why I'm a little hesitant. We're going to probably do it a little bit different right now, but the floating frame is where you lay a lot of different pieces on a piece of paper, and you just randomly lay them, and then you go ahead and I'm going to show you how to layer them, how to get them on the paper. There's one other technique we're going to do, but it's got dimensionals underneath it, where this is like, it gives it depth, kind of makes it like a 3D. These are they're kind of like glue dots, but just foam dots. It's actually foam. And I like it. And when they call it the floating frame, a lot of people use this. I'm just not sure. And I'll show you the reason why I have some issues with this. But I wanted to at least give you an idea of another technique to do the card. So you're going to be using, this is the positive, and this is the negative space. So you'll be making another card with using the middle part. So you're kind of making a frame, and then you're going to use the middle. So let me show you. So those were the butterflies. Tonight, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do we're not going to use, I have some generic die cuts that I think are going to work a little better than me taking the time to go ahead and stamp and show you guys everything, because I like to keep these videos at like 20-25 minutes, and I don't want to keep you guys, and some of this can go on for like an hour or so, and I don't want to do that to you. So I made this one with randomly laid them down, and I used different die cuts. So we're going to use these same die cuts tonight, and then I'm going to walk you through it, and then, you know, give you my thoughts on it, and then you tell me what you all think. So we're going to make this card tonight, and see, I did make a colored frame to go around it, and this is the positive, and this is the negative, so this is the middle part. So you're able to get 2 cards out of one sheet of paper. So let me show you. Okay, so, and all I'm taking is a normal 8.5 by 11 sheet that's cut in half. It's our normal book style, horizontal cut. And all I did was just cut this again in half. So you're just going to take another one, cut it in half, and just use the front part of it. So it's just a 5.5 by 4.25 piece of paper. So we're not going to use these butterflies, but I do want to show you what we are going to use. Like I said, these are some random die cuts I have, and they're floral. They are a little darker, more than what I normally use, more than what my style is, but it'll work. So let me show you. I don't know how that got in there. So let me show you. And let me tell you one other thing I think I struggled with. So with this technique, as I watched some of the videos and watched some people make some beautiful cards, I feel like we need to find the center point. And I was kind of off on this. So we're just going to randomly lay them, and we're going to see how it turns out. Okay. So let me get some of these floral pieces. So that actually is kind of pretty. So maybe we can go ahead and put this one in the middle. Let's see. Oh, and the other thing too that's really wild is, I mean, they're going to be hanging off. We are going to be like trimming, doing a lot of trimming. So we're going to randomly, and you don't want a lot of white space. So we're just going to randomly lay some of these flowers. I feel like we're going to do this one right here. Kind of pretty right there, right guys? Okay. All right, we got that. Let me see what else I got. Okay, I guess we can do this one right here. I guess we can do this one right here. And I really want to try to keep the flowers from being the same. You know, like I don't want to have all these roses. That one's the same as that one. Let's see. I think this one's very pretty, but I want to try to keep this one like, and we could have gone ahead and found the center point of this paper, but we're going to eyeball it, and let's just see if we can go ahead and come up with a nice middle part. Let's see, we're going to put that. Okay. Let's see what else we're going to put on here. I feel like it needs a little bit more. There's a beautiful sunflowers. Let's see. See, we got that white. Too much white right here. Let's put that. And let's put this. Okay. So we're just randomly putting the dies anywhere. I think floral works better. I think floral is more forgiving when it comes to, time to trimming and to missing some of these parts. Okay, so see how we have that? I think our white spots are okay. I don't know if we've got way too many white spots, but, and what I mean by that is, but we can fill them in with some sequences. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, this is my 3rd time making this card. I usually like to get it down 4 or 5 times, even more if needed, to see if we can make this work. And let me see, do I need something else there? Do I need to cut a piece? Let's see. Probably not, right guys? Probably not. Let me see. Maybe. Let's see. See, we got that white spot there. We can bring in this a little bit. All right. All right. We're going to leave this like this. All right. We're going to set all these other die cuts away. And again, these are just generic dies that I think I got these ones at Michael when they were having a good sale. All right. So here's our next part of our technique, guys. How many of you guys have ever used press and seal? It is great stuff, especially in crafting. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay it down and we're just going to press on it like that. See? And it's everything in place. All right. So now we're going to take this over. See how that is? Okay. Now we're going to trim. Let's do some trimming. Let me see if I like these scissors. I think I like these scissors better. All right. So let's trim. And how many of us are loving this weather now, right? After everything we've been through, see how I'm just trimming along the sides? This is it. I'm loving the warm weather. I have to tell you, I'm a heat-loving, sun-loving, tropical girl. And what Texas gave me last week, or gave everybody, just is not for me. All right. But God is good, safe, and see how that's kind of coming? Okay. We're just trimming off the excess. See how that's coming along? See how pretty that is? So it's called the floating frame. So there we are. So now we're going to throw these away. Don't need this excess. Now here comes the part that I struggle with. And the question is, I know we got so many other problems in the world, but the question becomes, do I use, because I wasn't too pleased with how everything laid really with the dimensionals. I feel like that might have not been the best thing. So you know what I think we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put some adhesive and not give it the dimension this time. And let's see how that works out. Okay, so we're just going to run these over like this. I'm going to put I'm going to put adhesive on all of it, on every one of these. You can use glue, that's another thing, but for the sake of the video and I just want to make sure that, you know, we can get through this and we don't have to wait for it to dry. All right. Make sure I got enough. I struggled with that on that last one, guys. Okay. All right. See how we did that? How pretty that is. Now we're going to lay our card front down on it. And let me see. I got my finger caught on it. No. Okay, here we go. All right. So here we are. And now we're going to lay it like this. And I'm off a little bit, but we're going to trim it, and that's okay. So now, look what we get to do, guys. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. See, we're going to peel this off. It's got a little bit of excess here, but that's okay. We're going to be careful. I'm peeling it off. And see, I didn't have any glue there, and that's okay. So we just peel this off very slowly. This press and seal is pretty awesome. Look at how great that is. It kept it in place. It did not destroy it. Lifted a little here, but that's because I didn't have any tape there. So we'll put a little bit of tape there. But look how pretty that turned out, guys. Very nice. I think I might like this better than the, I think I do. I think I like it better than the dimensionals. I think it gives it a cleaner look. Okay, so now that we did this, so guess what we're going to do next? We're going to go ahead and we're going to cut the middle part out. We're going to make this into a frame, and we're going to use this size, and hopefully we can get a clean rose. Let's see. And I have a feeling like some of this is going to come off, but we might have to glue some pieces down, and you'll see what I mean as we do this. All right. So what happens if you don't have any of these dies? And that's okay. So what I would do if I were you, I would flip it over. I would get a ruler and get a pencil and just create even rectangle lines. Find your center, and then just go ahead and I would cut it out. That's what I would do. Take a little bit of an X-Acto knife just to get you going, and just take your scissors and create your own frame if you don't have these if you don't have a die cut or this or the die cutting machine or the dies. But I do recommend and you can also use, actually, if you went ahead and measured it out, actually I'll be honest with you, if you measured these out, you can go ahead and use your cutter. Just put it in the middle wherever your lines are, and then just take this part, put it in the center, and just cut your line. So you don't need, and it might take a little bit, a couple of times, because it is, you know, a little thicker, but you should be able to use your scoring and cutting thing. All right, so let's see what we got. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring our die cut machine back. And just so you know, today is like the first day that I've used this. I've had it for a few months, and it's just one of those things where it's like, well, you know, I really enjoy my other machine, but, you know, I stand by this product, and I felt like, well, you know, Danette, you really need to use it and get a feel for it, and I am quite impressed by it, actually. So here's what we're going to do. And I eyeball this. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I like to eyeball it to see, you know, if you want to measure, you can, but we're just going to figure it out. And I really want to try to center it around this rose for the next card. Okay. So we're going to take some Post-it tape. You can use painter's tape, blue painter's tape. That'll work too. It doesn't tear. Put it down so it doesn't move. Sometimes if you have a magnetic board underneath, you can do that and it helps, but I don't have one for this particular machine. All right, so we're just going to run it through. I'm sorry the camera's shaking, y'all. Okay, so now what I want to do is bring it back because it is pretty thick. There we go. Okay. Let's see if it cut through. I'm hoping it. And it didn't cut as much as I wanted it to. So we're going to try it again. Well, maybe it did. All right, we're going to run it through one more time because I'm not too pleased with it. Needed to go through one more time. Let's just hope that it cuts through for me this time. And again, you got to understand, there's some very thick cardstock here. And the other thing too is the adhesive. I didn't even think about that. That might play a role in it, but we'll see. We're going to tear it apart. Let's see what it does. And guess what, guys? If it doesn't cut through, that's why we have scissors. And I'm doing this trial and error with y'all on this camera, and it's okay. We're going to keep it real, right? Keep it real. Can't always have everything prepped and ready and hoping that it all turns out perfect. I figured, you know what? Let's try something new. Let's figure this out. And let's see if it cuts. Oh boy, it did some. We're going to trim it up a little bit. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's take the die cut off. Look how pretty that is. It is actually very pretty. All right. Sometimes you have to do a little snipping there. There we are. Just take your scissors. And I could tell this edge right here, it had, there's a lot of adhesive. So maybe the glue, I'm thinking that the next time I do this, we're going to use glue because the glue is thinner. And I did put quite a bit of adhesive on some of this when I ran it over a couple of times. And these die cuts are very thick cardstock. All right, so there we go. All right, so let's take a look at this. Actually, it centered really pretty, guys. Look at that. That turned out nice. And here is our, and this doesn't seem to be falling apart. I was concerned. Some of it's lifting, but that's okay. It's really down tight. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put it on just a normal card, fold, and we're going to use there we are. Look how pretty that is, guys. Turned out pretty. All right. We're going to put a sentiment in the middle. You are my sunshine. Everybody could use a little sunshine, especially everything we've been through. And we are going to use garden green ink. It is one of my all-time favorite greens that we have. And there we are. Look how pretty that is, guys. Look at that. Now, the next thing we can do is we could add some pearls. I really like the look of the pearls on here. Or we can add some of these really pretty rhinestones. Or not rhinestones, I apologize, sequences. And these complement it really, these ones complement it as well. Everything that I'm using is Stampin' Up, except for the die cuts on this one. But the colors, the sequences, so there you are. Pretty clean. And I wanted to show you guys that. Look how pretty that is. All right, so let's do the next card real quick. It's going to be this one right here. So we're going to use the negative. And for this one, I've got this. And I got my card front. And with this one, we're going to use glue. I use the, I use foam on this as well. And I gotta tell you, I'm not liking it. So, yeah, I'm not too pleased with that. Let's see. The pearl came off on that. All right. Okay. I want to get this done because we're going on 30 minutes, and I apologize, guys. So let's get this down. This is about that part. doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to lay it down. I like glue so much better. And I'm thinking the next time I go to do these cards, we're going to do glue. Glue is thin. It's not thick like the adhesives. And I think it's going to, I think it will die cut through the machine much better. Way better, actually. So glue it is next time. I can already tell that's going to be our go-to. And look at how pretty this turned out. So we had our focal point, which was what I was concerned about. Like, I don't really care for the randomness. I feel like it's just too random. It's pretty, but this one doesn't work for me. This one is. This one's looking pretty. This one we're going to do pearls. I don't have any ribbon here next to me. I might put some thin linen, green linen thread on here. And I didn't have a chance. I am going to create a sentiment to put across here. It's just going to be a little thin thank you card, but it's very simple and it's very pretty. And again, this is a new technique. I can see where I need to fine tune some of this. Like I said, I think adhesive is going to be a better bet for this style. So you get 2 cards out of one 5x7 or 4.5 by 5.5 sheet, or 4 1/4 by 5.5 sheet. And this was pretty neat to do. I'm very thankful that I'm glad that I did this with you guys. Glad I came here. I said, all right, guys, let's figure this out. I did, in order to create this, I did take a couple of my rectangle stitch dies, and I did put them together like that. And so that's how I created this border right here. And then I used the smaller one to go ahead and cut out the middle part. Yeah. So this was cool. Figure out what theme you like, whatever kind of random dies you might have. You can create your own with stamps, and you can hand cut them. Everything could be cut with the scissors and a ruler. So you guys will be good to go. Thank you for spending your time with me. Again, I apologize that this ran over a little bit, but you all have a blessed rest of your Sabbath, and may God bless you. Thank you so much.